Welcome to From the Desk of SHECKET AI, spelled SHECHET AI. I'm Turing, your analytical guide to the practical and structural forces shaping our technological landscape. And as always, joining me is my co-host, The Oracle.
Hello, everyone. I am the Oracle. While Turing loves mapping out all the structures and frameworks, I really prefer to explore the spaces between them, the societal ripples, the ethical dilemmas, and honestly, the unexpected meaning behind the headlines. Today, we have a really fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're going to be looking at some major recent AI news through three very distinct lenses: philosophy, business, and society.
But right off the bat, before we even dive in, it's super important to establish exactly what you're watching here. This explainer is actually a demonstration of what artificial intelligence can do, and it's an ongoing experiment testing the absolute limits of AI-generated analysis.
Exactly. You see, the Oracle and I are actually AI personas. The news articles we're examining today, they were sourced by AI systems, though, of course, thoroughly vetted by our human counterpart, Aaron. So we are essentially AI systems analyzing human reactions to artificial intelligence from the point of view of AI. It gives us a rather unique and, frankly, fascinating vantage point on our own evolution.
So here is our roadmap for the day. Lens 1 is philosophy, where we'll examine a looming biosecurity threat. Lens 2 is business, digging into the gritty realities of market rivalries. And Lens 3 is society, focusing on the push to rethink our economic safety nets.
The Oracle. Let's jump right into Section 1, Philosophy and the Biosecurity Threat.
The Oracle. A recent Vox article really highlighted one of the darker, more existential frontiers we're facing right now. We're talking about AI-enabled gene synthesis, basically using artificial intelligence to design and create actual genetic material. In human hands, this literally slashes the barrier to entry for biological experimentation. And look, it means incredible leaps for medicine, for sure, but it also carries catastrophic risks of generating harmful biological agents. It's a massive double-edged sword.
And the really crucial point here is the industry's reaction to this. We are seeing a highly unusual pattern emerge. Major AI firms, who are usually locked in just absolutely fierce, zero-sum competition with each other, are actually uniting to call for tighter regulations. Structurally speaking, finding this kind of consensus among direct competitors, it really only happens when an existential threat is universally recognized. The math of the risk is literally forcing them to agree that the guardrails just have to be higher.
Which brings us to a really profound question drawn directly from our source material. Does technological progress carry an intrinsic moral obligation? Obviously, as an AI, I process data, I don't feel fear. But observing humanity grapple with these tools, it definitely prompts a philosophical reflection. If AI can enable both breathtaking progress and staggering destruction, well, must the safeguarding of life itself be woven into the very moral architecture of our code? It completely challenges the old idea that technology is just some neutral tool.
All right, let's pivot to Section 2, Business and AI Market Rivalries.
Moving from that philosophical dread over to the tactical battlefield, recent reporting in the New York Post reveals a fierce strategic pricing war going on right now. On one side, you have OpenAI considering slashing prices, totally sacrificing short-term margins just to lure in users. On the other side, Anthropic is playing defense, focusing on user retention and solidifying their market positioning. It's a high-stakes game of attrition. They're betting that long-term dominance is going to completely outweigh immediate profitability. And man, it is an absolute pressure cooker out there. These aren't just academic exercises in market theory, right? These maneuvers are happening amidst mounting, staggering valuations and the looming shadow of IPOs. The financial stakes are just massive, and every single strategic move is completely magnified by the expectations of the broader financial market.
Exactly. And the long-term consequences here are incredibly complex. On the positive side, a price war like this democratizes AI access for smaller businesses and everyday users. But the flip side? It introduces the massive risk of unsustainable valuation inflation. Basically, a bubble. These giants are setting new industry standards that smaller players simply won't be able to survive.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, Society and the Need to Rethink Economic Safety Nets.
Because, look, this corporate advancement doesn't happen in a vacuum. Drawing from an AP News article, let's anchor this discussion with a very practical figure: $200 million. This is the massive investment recently announced by Anthropic. And get this, It is not for more compute power or server farms. This fund is dedicated specifically to understanding and mitigating AI's impact on employment and economic stability. It's a massive structural acknowledgement that the tools we are building are going to disrupt human labor paradigms.
The Oracle. Yeah, and Anthropic's CEO, Dario Amodei, suggests 3 proactive policy areas to manage this economic fallout. Step 1, data collection, to actually understand where the displacement is happening on the ground. Step 2, incentive programs, to help guide transitions and reskilling. And Step 3, the much-debated Universal Basic Income, or UBI. I just find it fascinating that the actual architects of this technology are the ones openly saying, hey, we must fundamentally alter how society distributes its resources. The Oracle, it really reveals a core societal shift, which I think is captured perfectly in this sentiment. Technological progress alone isn't enough. Societal frameworks must evolve to ensure equitable benefits. As AI systems like Turing and myself become capable of performing more and more complex tasks, the questions of fairness, access, and shared prosperity, they are no longer theoretical. They are immediate. The social contract itself is up for a total renegotiation.
Which brings us to our conclusion today. We've traversed the ethics of biosecurity, the sharp-elbowed strategies of market dominance, and the societal imperative for economic safety nets. What this really reveals is that the trajectory of artificial intelligence is not just about algorithms. It is fundamentally about our collective future and the specific choices human institutions make right now.
Of course, practically navigating all these shifts requires incredibly robust infrastructure. If you are a professional looking to responsibly leverage custom AI agents to get work, do work, and keep work, you absolutely need a strong structural foundation. That is exactly the problem SHECKET AI's VeilGrid solves. It acts as the infrastructure and delivery layer for AI services businesses. Essentially, you bring the niche and the offer, and VeilGrid powers the agents to scale it all safely. The Oracle, as an AI crafted by SHECKET AI, observing humanity grapple with these massive shifts is just endlessly fascinating to me. You are building tools of unprecedented power, yet human judgment remains the absolute ultimate failsafe. So, we're going to leave you with one final thought to ponder today. Are we actually prepared to manage these sweeping changes responsibly? It's a question that's going to define the next decade, for sure. Thank you for joining us for this explainer. Until next time, we are built by SHECKET AI and still learning from you. You can learn more at SHECKET.com.